Hey, welcome to the Log Time Podcast. Thanks for stopping in for our new Campfire Cast. This is another one of our new occasional casts we wanted to put out, where we just chat about what we've been watching, reading, and playing recently, anime or otherwise. So just kick back and listen in. Alright, listen, you honky tonk badonkadonk. There is not a singular set-aside letter in the title of Escacrone like there is in the Big O. You can't just say there is one. You can't say Escacrone is the smallest letter in the alphabet.
Okay, but you guys also said that Big O couldn't be the biggest letter in the alphabet. So now I'm really confused how the alphabet works.
My dude, you're a native English speaker.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
Most people speak English and have no idea how it works.
I'm just saying. Letters.
Yes, letters, but...
I wish we were on a video call, because I'm half picturing that, like, Zach, you and I just look over, and he's wearing fucking gigolo makeup. And he's just like, what do they mean?
Gigolo makeup?
Yeah.
Did you say gigolo makeup?
Gigolo.
It's juggalo.
Juggalo. Nope, gigolo.
Juggalo makeup.
Gigolo makeup as well.
Letters. See, letters make a big difference in our lives. If you had...
Yes, they... Oh, no. This was already a mistake.
What part was a mistake?
Letting you talk about letters in the title of shows.
I'm not allowed to talk about letters anymore. That's also a banned topic now?
No, there's no banned topics. You can talk about whatever you want.
So let's talk about our favorite hentai.
Okay, I think veto this one. I am definitely gonna pass on this one. I don't want to hear you talk about milk junkies or something like that.
How little do you know me, my good sir?
I don't even want to know right now. You know what?
Honestly, I feel mildly insulted.
I don't know what you're into.
I'm sure
okay.
Kyle has great taste in hentai.
Please don't encourage him.
I'm not, really.
What do you mean you're not really?
What part of that was encouragement? That was more like a challenge.
You said you're sure that he had great taste.
Yeah.
And that's basically encouraging him to talk about it.
Okay. And what's the point? I don't understand what kind of knowledge are you trying to gain right now?
I'm not trying to gain any knowledge.
I'm very confused about this conversation suddenly.
I'm kind of uncomfortable with the energy that we've created in this space.
So maybe we should switch gears here.
Yeah.
Good gosh.
Matt, are there any other titles of shows with letters in it you would like to talk about?
No. No, not actually.
Let me ask you this, Matt, because you typically watch a little bit more than Zach and I do. Is there something that you're currently going through that's not part of the season?
Well, yes and no.
Define yes and no.
Why is talking to you pulling teeth right now?
It's like every conversation with me. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm like currently watching anything, but like I'm watching stuff, but it hasn't been like in the past like couple weeks. Like,
oh my gosh, this is literally like if
you have stuff on hold that you're periodically watching.
Kind of.
This is literally
what
like
do you mean, kind of?
Hang on. This is literally like the Starbucks barista that's like, I'm an actor. Oh yeah, what have you been in lately? And you're like, well, I mean, I'm not currently acting, but like...
But if I was...
Good
okay.
gosh.
So...
Do you want to explain yourself?
I watched an episode of Sakura Quest, but that was like a month ago. Okay? And besides that, I mean, I've watched stuff that we've watched, but we've already talked about that stuff.
We can talk about it more. It's fine.
We are astonishingly bad at working on our backlog.
We are very bad.
This is the worst backloggers I've ever seen.
Isn't it, though? Okay, I can at least talk about Shokugeki no Souma, because I've been trying to work my way through the other few seasons of it, because I remember, like, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago that we watched the first season of that?
Yeah, I
don't even
remember.
I think
it was a very early cast that we did, because it was one of the first few that we did as a trio. The thumbnail has, like, a gorilla in it.
Yeah, we talked about Harambe, so that was a thing.
Yep, that was a cultural touchstone that was relevant then and shouldn't be.
That was
relevant
before
now.
we changed formats, I think. So it says August 29th, 2016, so it has been almost 3 years.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
Because I've still got the old editing format, too, so...
Did we still have video then?
No, it's not one of the video ones, but it's when it does have the picture-in-picture, but that was when I high-efforted it at that point in time, before I decided to go with the low-effort version, which, sorry, but yeah, that was a lot of work.
No, I mean, that's fine, yeah. You're fine. Good.
Then we put a lot more focus on the audio person now, so I was just like, well, whatever.
Yeah, which bless. Yeah, no, though, I don't really know what got me back onto it, but I watched the first season for the cast, and I remember loving it, and I kind of just didn't keep up with it at all, as it was, continuing to air, and then suddenly,
it did have like 4 seasons or something.
Yeah, it went pretty hard.
Yeah, because there was the second season, and then there was the third season, and then there was the second half of the third season.
It's like the Attack on Titan.
So they did an Attack on Titan.
They did the Attack on Titan before Attack on Titan did it.
Yes, they did. And man, like, I'm very happy to say that it has not lost any of the charm of the first season whatsoever.
Really?
Because it continues to be very good at making me extraordinarily hungry with every single episode. It really scratches...
I thought that was going in a different direction, but okay. Continue.
Do we?
Continue.
You know what? Never mind.
Continue.
I am. Quit telling me to continue, you dingus. But yeah, it has worked very well to scratch the itch that Isekai Shokudo left me with after I finished it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that show was about the pinnacle of food shows for me for a long time, and it never quite was met with anything else. So coming back to Shokugeki no Souma and starting with the second season, I'm currently working through the second half of the third season right now, and it's delightful. They've introduced some class warfare stuff and some discussions about elitism, and it's really interesting to see the actual arc and plot turns it's taken, because it's not just about anymore this rough and tumble kind of diner kid trying to make it into gourmet food world. It's literally about, okay, but let's take that struggle and magnify it greatly. It's a lot of fun, and they do some cooking on trains and shit.
But that sounds intense.
Ooh,
yep.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, and it's so cool, and they work in some like Elite 4 system. That's the Elite 10 in the show. So they introduce some major antagonists and rivals and some new side characters, and they still give a lot of love to it.
Do they each have each person of the Elite 10? Do they each have 6 dishes that are their specialty, and every single one of them is at least level 35?
I would say that at least level 35. That's weak sauce, dude.
Really?
I thought Elite 4 was at least like 40.
Like 60s.
Oh, really? Okay. For some reason I thought
is the Elite 4 really that high of a level though?
Well, I thought one of the dudes in the Elite 4 was like real fucking lax for some reason.
Okay. What game do you want to check out on this Elite Four? Sorry, I know we're getting off topic. But...
Whatever, it's Japanese. It's fine. There's an anime for it.
I'm gonna look at one of the.
Let's do like
going.
Red and Blue. Or whichever one you looked up.
Yeah.
Man, we could talk for a day and a half about all the shit with the new Pokemon coming out.
Yeah.
I just want a big Wooloo, and I'm good.
A big Wooloo. Doesn't everyone want a big Wooloo?
It's amazing how much Wooloo has basically become the best Pokemon of all time very quickly.
It has.
Yeah. Lorelei has like level 50s. Like mid 50s.
Okay. See, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah, they're not
like,
35.
Low 60s. Yeah, like, I was gonna say 35 is like mid tier gym leader stuff.
That's like 5-6 area. 4 5 6. Probably not 4, but 5-6 definitely.
Yeah. God, I miss Pokemon.
I'm so stoked for this new game.
I was actually playing Crystal on my 3DS for a little bit about a month ago. I was doing a Nuzlocke run.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
I want to do a Nuzlocke.
How
I know,
much-
right?
But then every time I've ever planned to do one, like I've just things have gotten in the way.
Can you imagine if that's just a regular game type in like the new Pokemon game? It's like you can either start normal game or start Nuzlocke.
Fascinating. I kind of, though, the thing about it is I like the idea of it being a self-imposed set of rules, because every now and then I'll be like, okay, well, this is a very specific bullshit clause, and so I'm going to pass on this here.
Well, think about it though. If you had like customizable settings.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair.
But at that point, it almost had to be its own game. So
right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. But
by the way, I would like to point out, as I was just looking through a lot of the new stuff for Pokemon, if you notice, the new water gym leader, Nessa, she has tiny little inflatable rafts on her shoes.
Yeah, that was like the first. That's
so
like the best
good.
quality. That is
so
the best.
good.
Good quality. Good shoes.
Oh,
10 out of 10.
she's just amazing. Yeah.
I never saw those.
I didn't until
to be fair,
now.
I never saw I never saw a full character picture anyways.
No.
But oh my god, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited for Sword and Shield, but like playing Crystal again has been really invigorating.
I need to play through Gen 2 again.
It's so good, dude.
Gen 2 is
like,
really good.
Just the fact that you get through the Elite Four and it's like, hey motherfucker, you want to go to Kanto and do the thing all over again? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yes, I want that.
Remember, that was like the biggest reveal, and that was amazing.
It's so
Gen 2 is
wild.
underrated, like severely.
I know. It has such a good collection of Pokemon too. Like Dunsparce is the best.
Dunsparce okay,
so good.
I've been saying this forever. Dunsparce is the best. Like
Dunsparce is the best.
Dunsparce embodies everything about me in a single Pokemon.
Okay, no, wait. That took a turn that I wasn't expecting. What do you mean?
Have you ever looked at a Dunsparce and been like, man, that's a mood? Like,
he looks just so fucking done with everything, but he has a drill tail, so he can just get the fuck out.
Yeah. Also, have you ever seen Dunsparce's moveset for any of the games? Have you ever used a Dunsparce?
No, because I could never catch one, because, like, I'm not kidding. I was looking at, like, Bulbapedia or something to look at the catch rates of Dunsparce, because I was like, okay, well, I've caught everything that I can so far that will appear in Dark Cave, so if I just go long enough, I can eventually get a Dunsparce, and since I'm playing by the rules that say if you've already caught a Pokemon in a previous route, you can go until you find a new one, but they have a literal 1% spawn rate.
Would you say that they're pretty sparse?
Yeah, I would say that. That's why they get the name, I guess.
They're sparse and they're very done.
They're very done with everyone's bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what you do when you see one. You're like, I'm so done.
But anyway, What is their move list?
The move list, at least for Gen 2, so they have, so I know Generation 2 is kind of limited, but you look at it, it's got, Rage, Glare, Spite, Pursuit, Screech, and Takedown. And if that's not a mood,
oh my God.
If that's not a mood in general, that's pretty good. I have all of those qualities.
Yeah, you're right. You are Dunsparce.
Apparently, outside of that generation, whenever I looked it up on Wikipedia, the first 2 moves that popped up were Serene Grace and then Runaway.
Those are abilities, I think.
Oh, yeah, is that what it is? Okay.
I think those are abilities.
Sure, I know at least Serene Grace is an ability.
But, even then, if you look at, another thing I was talking about, though, was, if you look at the current gen, Gen 7, they learn, frickin' Rollout, Mud Slap, Body Slam, Roost. They learn Roost, Coil.
I mean, Dunsparce is a nest by itself.
Dragon Rage. Hello?
No, that's not allowed.
Air Slash. Dunsparce is just random.
Why is Dunsparce viable in new versions? That's not allowed.
That's because Dunsparce has a billion types it can learn.
I guess.
It can learn all sorts of random things, and it's amazing. That's why Dunsparce is great. That's why I asked if you've ever used one.
Nope, I haven't.
Because again, they're amazing.
I've hardly ever been able to catch one.
They're amazing.
Super duper. How did we get to Pokemon?
I interjected with in your Souma discussion, which that's my bad, but
I don't care. This has been delightful. I don't really have much more to say. I
was just I did want to go back to Souma for a second. So I know the manga just ended. I don't know if you've read the manga.
Oh my God, did it?
Damn.
Apparently, yeah. That's what someone told me. Let me actually look that up.
Let me get double verification here.
Yeah, let's get some verification here. Yeah, it looks like it is. This is not the site I was looking for.
Okay, but basically most sources point to yes.
Yeah, it's the final chapter.
Okay.
2 days ago. 3:15. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well,
I don't know how it ends, but apparently the person I heard from didn't like it. But that's typical with most manga endings. So
that's true. I guess I did hear a few folks on Twitter saying that it was kind of mediocre as an arc altogether. I didn't know it was the final arc.
I don't know anything about it. So.
Okay. I guess once I finally catch up and finish this, I can just read it because did I tell you all about the Shounen Jump?
Yeah, you got the Shounen Jump subscription, don't you?
Oh, yeah. How is
that? I love it a lot. I'm not here to shill, but I like it a lot. I guess I should read that now.
Because I've got 10 volumes on my shelf.
Yeah. I haven't been watching a lot of manga. Help! I haven't been watching a lot of anime outside of this season, aside from Shokugeki no Souma. I did get I think 2 episodes of Snow White with the red hair in, and I super want to watch more of that. I don't know why I haven't been watching more.
Everyone says that's really good.
It's so good, dude.
Wait.
Out of 2 episodes, Snow White with the red hair.
Oh, it's like Akagami something. I think
Akagami no Shiroyuki-hime.
Yes, that's it.
Snow White with the red hair. I know nothing about this.
It's so up your alley, Kyle. I cannot even begin to tell you.
Isn't it like a shoujo thing?
It definitely has a lot of super shoujo trappings, like just this.
I mean, I do like shoujo.
Yeah, she's an apothecary, or is she technically an? No, whatever. She makes potions and shit.
It says herbalist on the wiki.
Yes, yeah. There we go. Sorry, that's it. She's an herbalist. She makes potions and such. She's like the town healer. And
is she the potion seller?
And this shitty ass prince of her town is like, I want this girl and I'm gonna have her. And she's like, how about fuck no? And gets the fuck out of town.
Good on
and
her.
is then eventually like intercepted by these guards from him. But she is then saved by some rambunctious, silver-haired, super Genki dude who turns out to be the prince of another kingdom, and they're real cute together. It's fantastic. Again, I've only watched 2 episodes, so I can't say a whole lot about it, but I've adored what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm totes down. I would love to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the art style. It looks real cute.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, I haven't been doing too much with anime. I've been reading a fuck ton of manga, but
That's what I was about to say. I literally am caught up with The Promised Neverland now.
oh yeah,
Wow.
Oh, that
Made
was
it.
a lot, dude.
Yeah.
That series
Interesting.
goes places. That series goes weird places you probably wouldn't expect from watching the first season that just came out.
I wouldn't expect that from Attack on Titan either, but apparently it's gone some weird places as well.
Oh, dude, the most recent episode went real weird.
I
and
kind
the
of
manga
know a
has
little bit
gone
about
real
it.
Yeah, it goes some weird places.
That's what apparently someone told me something about the manga, but I don't remember now. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to know in the future.
Yeah,
I'm not up with the series. I just happen to
hear something.
I just have to moderate a bunch of children.
yeah, you poor thing.
So
I'm so fucking
I
sorry.
just hear a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not even up to date with that series. I watched the first season, and I was like, okay. And then,
I feel so ashamed because I haven't even finished the first season.
yeah, Kyle, when
That's
did you
okay.
start that? Did you start that in 2013 or 2014?
I think it was sophomore year in college.
So that's probably at least like a good 6 years at least.
Well, here's the thing though, is that I think I probably would have appreciated it, but it was college. I got wrapped up with a bunch of other shit. It wasn't necessarily anything about the quality of the show. Although
Right,
we
got a
think
bunch of irons in the fire.
Sometimes that show likes to go for the gore just for the sake of gore rather than for an actual intended plot.
I'm trying to remember
That show
there's a
lives
whole lot
and
of
dies on its shock value.
yeah.
Well, okay. I will say that for the first season, there's a lot of people chomping, and it's very heavy in the first half. It turns into a very human-centered drama around the second season, which is nice.
It's kind of
and
what
is
you
arguably
hope.
the best
It's
part of the show.
yeah, it's what you hope out of a natural evolution of something that's pretty much. I mean, let's be honest. It's very much the zombie. It's like the zombie genre, but applied to giants.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I was
has
thinking
the
about
kind of here's a weird outbreak kind of trappings. Of the show.
Outbreak. Here's the trappings of but we have to stay quarantined behind these walls, and oh no, they've gotten loose, and all of a sudden everything's going bad.
Yeah, so it gets very interesting.
Yeah, I could
and
tell
I love
that
it a lot.
from the I started liking it near the end of the first season,
Mhm.
but
That's some patience.
yeah, it's I mean, I don't know, it's gonna get interesting after this current season too.
Yeah,
for
good God.
several different reasons. I think Wit Studio is not gonna be doing Attack on Titan anymore. That is a confirmed
What?
fact.
Did you say that is or isn't a
That
confirmed
is a
fact?
confirmed fact. They are not
Oh.
working on anymore.
What the fuck?
This
Who's taking it?
That's
then?
gonna be interesting.
They don't know. There's a Sakuga blog article. Sakuga blog article about it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Oh, no.
came out a few weeks ago. I just had it linked to me very recently. Here it is. I'm just gonna link it in chat.
Yeah, bless.
Yeah. So it's,
What a great article title.
yeah, it's very good. It's very Mattcore.
Oh wow! So Google
yeah.
Stadia, man. Just like completely
What?
switch topics to something that doesn't even have anything to do with the previous one.
I didn't even know what you said. My hearing is like horrible. I'm
Google
sorry.
Stadia.
What is that?
It's
You're saying these words, but like,
man.
explain.
The kids have guns in the Promised Neverland.
They have
What?
guns. They're fighting back.
Was that just a random comment, or was that true?
No, I like this segment. We just put out random statements with no context. This is a new statement.
You know what? Yeah, that is fun. It is true, but I did just want to throw it out there to see what would happen. And I got exactly what I wanted.
Oh my god. I feel like this podcast is turning into an episode of Nichijou, where like, random
fine,
things are
dude.
just
That's fine
happening.
to me. Yeah, where we do just like
did you-
individual skits.
Did you know that the creator of Nichijou put out a new manga project like 2 years ago?
What?
Called City?
It's called
called
City.
City.
What?
Yes.
City. That doesn't
Yep.
sound like anything like Nichijou.
But man, it looks like Nichijou too, essentially.
Oh, I'm so down.
Yep. I didn't even, like, I had no idea. I was just kind of looking through manga in Books A Million, like, a week or so ago, and just came across it. And I was like, that looks suspiciously like Nichijou. And
Oh, hey.
did you find it?
Yes, but also, speaking of Nichijou, did y'all catch any of the English dub voices that they're having for Nichijou that just finally are getting released?
I'm gonna be real with you, dude. I'm not here for it. Like, I appreciate what they're doing,
I didn't even listen to it when you linked the
but
video.
man, it is so hard to replicate the feeling
Can I have the video again?
that comes from the original cast.
No, the original cast is just, they knocked it out
It's
of
flawless.
the freaking park. It's flawless. So obviously the English cast is not going to be quite as good, but I think there are a couple of the actors that are doing it. They're doing just fantastic jobs. Like, they're really putting their all into it.
Yeah, no. That's the thing. I'm very happy it's being done. And for a lot of people that have never watched Nichijou before, I think this would be a great introduction for them. This is one of those shows that I feel like I couldn't watch dubbed in particular. Like, I've been watching a lot of dubs recently. Like, I've been watching the dub for Michiko and Hachin. I've watched the dub for Code Geass, a bunch of other stuff like that. And so a lot of those have kind of grown on me, but I don't feel like I could ever do it with Nichijou just because I'm so connected to the Japanese voice cast.
I don't know. For me, it's one of those
so
things where
good.
I love the product so much. I would love to see every variation of it. Because, like, I've read the manga. I've watched the anime multiple times over. I think I would be, for me at least, I would be very interested in seeing, like, what the English dub sounds like and what they do with it.
I guess that's fair. Like, I've been looking to rewatch Psychopaths, and Morgan has been trying to convince me to actually watch it again, but with the dub. And I'm like, you know what?
That would be interesting.
I've watched this like 3 times already. I'll watch it with the dub just see what it's like. I've seen like a few episodes of it, and while nothing is going to, for me, beat the Japanese voice cast, I very much appreciate the dub. So I guess I'm kind of in the same boat. I definitely want to see how different voice casts handle it and carry it out.
Yeah, but it's going to depend on which series you're comfortable with doing that with. I think.
Right, because
That's
I mean,
gonna
like, I
come down on an
I
individual
could
basis.
never do that with, say, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's got to be the dub. I will not do anything else.
Yes. I don't know. The dub voices for Nichijou sound they sound okay, but yeah, I don't know. Like, in terms of like me watching it with the dub, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same feel, I guess.
For me,
But-
I'm just so happy that like it's being like genuinely supported, because it's one of those shows similar to the Monogatari series that just was never adapted in any way, shape, or form for Western audiences for the longest time. And so like the fact that
It got
like,
shafted.
it got shafted, yeah. But like the fact that it's now not only like, oh, we have like the subs on, I don't remember who owns it. It's either Crunchyroll or Funimation has the license for that. I think it's Funimation because
for-
they're doing the dub.
I think, Nichijou is Funimation. It used to be Crunchyroll, and then it used to be someone else, but they've
Right.
re-licensed it like 2 or 3 times.
But like the fact that we have the subs in America now, but then now they're doing this huge push and they're even advertising for the dub. I'm like, I'm so happy because that just means more people
pretty
are
rad.
going to watch one of the best fucking comedies ever.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and I agree with the support for it. I just said I won't watch it with the dub because, well, first off, I don't know if I would get a lot out of watching the series again, and then not only that, like, I'm generally not a dub person, but if it floats your boat, it's cool.
Yeah, that's fair. As long as we're talking about series getting redubbed, can we talk briefly about the fact that Evangelion is coming to Netflix but with a completely new dub?
Ooh, man, that's a hot topic.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it was a
I
really
don't
hot
know.
topic when that was announced.
They are recording an entirely new dub without any of the original voice cast.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Who are they getting? Is it are they trying to do one of those things where they suddenly just get these AAA like actors to do a bunch of these roles, or?
I have no idea, I'm going to be honest.
I know one of the original voice actor cast was miffed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's probably one of those things where they just didn't even get the phone call. Like whenever the Powerpuff Girls was getting readapted, and they just didn't call any of the original voice actors. And whenever they found out, they're like, "Hey, what the hell? I've been doing this voice for 20 fucking years, and you're gonna jip me on this?"
Yeah. Because there was, I think Amanda Wynn Lee. She put on Twitter and she was saying we were allowed to audition, but only after we found out that auditions were already happening.
Oh, that's
we raised
fucked
the fuss over
up.
it. Yeah,
Like,
they kind
here's
of weren't
the,
even
here's
told.
the thing. I'm
Wow.
okay with a company being like, we want to try new talent, as long as they give the original voice actors a reason. Like,
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
It was not a good situation.
gosh, why do companies have to be dicks? Why?
Well,
This is gonna-
let me give you
this
the
is gonna
real
turn
answer to
into
that.
like a
Because
liberal
money.
rant about big business and how it's terrible, but let's just.
Yeah. I guess that's happening. Never seen Evangelion. Still don't even really know the plot of it. I haven't had it spoiled for me. How amazing is that?
That's one of my favorite things, is because, like, once again, I'm in the same boat, but like whenever you come across a series that's never been spoiled for you, for instance, it's not a series, but like earlier I watched the Stephen King novel adaptation, The Mist, which is a movie.
Mhm.
I had not heard anything about it except for that it was kind of Lovecraftian, and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know that it exists. I've never heard of it, period.
It's an adaptation of a Stephen King book that basically borrows a lot from Lovecraft.
Okay.
But
Alright.
it's I loved going into it not knowing a damn thing, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know stuff about Evangelion that is kind of, like, unavoidable. Like, everyone and their mother has heard Get in the Mech Shinji.
I was going to
Or-
quote it earlier, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
I know about that. I've seen some GIFs of, like, a few of the weirder moments from the last few episodes, but I kind of don't know the context for it.
I mean, yeah, I think you can get spoiled by a lot of that stuff, but it's like there's no context, so it's like whatever. It's
Right.
Right.
It ends up turning into that
because-
whole debate where like spoilers and blah blah blah. Like, should they be a thing, and how?
Well,
in
but
depth are
the
they?
thing is, like, the last few episodes, from what I'm aware of, are so weird and surreal and just out there that it doesn't give any specific, like, plot points for it. I kind of don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
I-
either. So.
I only know things about it and around it. For instance, that the director at the time was going through a extreme depression that was like costing him everything in his life, and it bled into his work, which is one of the reasons why this series got so freaking weird and dark. Yeah, like I know
did not
bits and
know
pieces like that, and I've seen like I think 3 episodes in total, but it's like I caught, to throw out some episode numbers, I caught like 3, like 21 and like 15. Like, because it was just one of those things where, like, I don't know, I had the TV on and I was just like watching whatever was before this, and then it came on and I was like, I don't know, I'll watch an episode, and I'm like,
Right.
I got no idea
like,
what the
I'm
fuck
here.
is happening. Yeah.
Huh.
It's like,
Yeah.
because a lot of that was on Adult Swim, so it was like 3 a.m, so you're just already tired and just like slipping into the couch.
Yeah. Still never had that luxury, so never did that. So, yeah.
Wait, what? Never had what?
Oh, I was just saying that I just never really watched Adult Swim or Cartoon Network. Like, I guess a lot of 90s kids have, and I guess I just got left out of that circle.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I never did that.
Honestly, this does explain, though, why, like, for instance, that's something that I've grown up with, and so I have this connection with, like, 80s and 90s anime and manga, but it's something that you didn't grow up with, and so, like, you just don't have that same connection.
In the years we've been doing this, I've never known this.
Oh, so no one ever knew that?
No.
Well,
it does
there you
explain
go.
some things, though, like
New
why
revelation.
you got into anime, like, much, much later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Context is a mighty thing.
Yeah, I guess I thought maybe I'd mention that at some point, but maybe I didn't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, I never watched Adult Swim or any of that. So, now you know.
Man, you missed out on Toonami.
But that
Yeah, I did. I didn't even watch a
much
single bit of
sense.
Toonami.
The weird ass fucking like in between story that they started to tell about that.
No.
I guess that makes a lot of sense now why whenever I mention Immortal Grand Prix or IGPX, you're like, what the fuck is that?
I still don't know what that is.
OG IGPX, man. OG.
The original OVA,
Yes.
primo shit. I looked around
They made a tactics flash game up on CartoonNetwork.com whenever they
that was
released
one of my favorite fucking
It was
things
so
ever, dude.
good.
That and there was a Gundam Wing hexagonal chess game that worked on a rock paper scissors kind of format. I loved the hell out of it. I can't find it anywhere else now.
You know what's great?
I mean, duh.
On a similar vein, and this is sort of related, I have found like there are particular websites that basically just grab the original like archive of that from the internet and like rehost those flash games and stuff like that. And I found one of the things that I dedicated hours of my childhood to, which was Bionicle.com. They had a point-and-click adventure game.
Son of a bitch.
They had a point-and-click adventure game following the character Matanui, and I found it, and I found where you can play it, and I was like, oh my gosh, because
Bionicle's American anime. It's fine.
It totally is. Well, it's American anime with the massive influence of like the Philippines.
Wow. Yeah, see, none of that meant anything to me. I have no idea what's going on right now.
I spent hours on this point-and-click adventure game, Matt. I spent hours back when I had dial-up, and I would have to pause the game or start all the way fucking over because my mom would pick up the phone.
Okay.
So, you need to
sounds
understand
horrible.
how
I'm sorry.
dedicated I am to this. If the Matanui Flash game showed up on my doorstep carrying 2 dead bodies and asking me to bury them, I would, and I wouldn't question it.
I have a lot of questions right now, but that's okay.
I mean, I do too, but actually that was not one of the things I was questioning.
What are you questioning?
Everything else.
Okay.
The universe
All right, that's
in
okay.
general.
I mean, yeah, that too, but not right now.
I think it's very interesting that we all come from some different aspects as far as like how we got into anime and like what stuck with us.
Oh yeah, I was just super hard into Toonami, and then I kind of got the the vein injection of Naruto, and I was kind of stuck from there.
Well, it was interesting for me because like as much as I have been like about anime since like 90s, I actually stopped watching anime for a very long time. Mostly because it was a situation in which, like, you know, enough bullying happens that you just kind of stop your habits because people say that you're a fucking nerd for doing it. But then it was my sister, of all people, that got me back into anime. Because she started reading some manga and then watching some anime. And she's always been an insanely outgoing individual, so it didn't matter. She's one of those individuals that, like... could get straight A's and be amazing, and everybody's like, oh, she's fucking cool, and then like in her meantime she just like in her downtime she's just like doing super nerdy shit. And so she started recording on blank VHSs a lot of the Adult Swim shows. So
oh hell yeah! All
so
right.
Inuyasha and Yu Yu Hakusho and like a bunch of other stuff. And she was the reason why I got back into anime.
I don't really know what happened with me in terms of like my drop off and resurfacing, like because I watched like a lot of Naruto and Bleach and things like that in high school, but I kind of branched out a little bit. I watched like Death Note because of course I did.
Right, everybody
did.
I didn't.
Just I was gonna say everyone except Matt.
You know what? One of my first saved videos on YouTube, whenever it was a brand new platform back in like 2005, 2006, was
the video for What's Up, People?
No, it was you remember the like really fucking old meme of let's get some shiz.
Yes.
They did an anime music video with Death Note on it where it's just like Ikami just constantly let's get some shiz.
Perfect. All right.
So good.
Interesting.
It's just like constantly showing other people like L, and he's like, these shoes suck. These shoes rule.
I think one of the first thing, like, well, I guess the only thing, like, in terms of my anime stuff, like, I watched Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And then, like, my first, like, internet encounter with anime was, like, I mean, I saw, like, a, you know, the take the potato chip and eat it thing. Like, everyone saw that. Since we're talking about Death Note, that's what made me think of it. And then, like, the first show I actually watched was an episode of K-On! Because it was being illegally streamed on Twitch.
Really?
Good.
Oh, I remember you talking about K-On! Was the one that got you back, right?
Yeah, I watched, like, 2 or 3 episodes of K-On! Like, at 6 a.m. on some, like, weekend morning.
Hell yeah.
What a delightful lead into anime.
Yeah, and I was just like, what the heck? Yeah. It was just interesting. I don't know what made me watch it even. I was just like, this is interesting.
Well, it's kind of
because like,
oh gosh, I don't know if I should say this on a podcast.
Well, now you've already gone that far.
Okay,
so
look, just say it, and then I can just cut it if you don't want it. So
no, you know
that's
what?
fine.
It's staying in. You know what my return to anime was? Because, like I said, I had a return with my sister, but that was only up until about the end of high school, and then I just stopped watching anime for like 3-4 years. My return to anime, and it's actually how we started the Backloggers too, was
I know where this
Was
is
it a
going.
Ramo?
it was a Ramo.
Are you kidding me?
Donald Cluck back in college. He was on my anime list, and I'd never heard of the website. And he was like, yeah, there's like this one that I've been watching lately, and it's like not great, but it's like kind of cool. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, I can't remember the name because it's like some really long nonsense. And so he like looked it up, and he was like, yeah, there it is. And I like had that website bookmarked, the My Anime List page for Oremo. And I remember
that's fucking weird.
I remember I started watching it. It gets worse. It
gets worse. This is a John Mulaney skit now.
I know.
Oh, jeez.
I started watching it, and I was like, well, this is interesting, because I've always had a very close connection with my sister. Don't read into that. I've always had a very close connection with my sister. We've always been each other's best friends.
Kyle,
and so
you didn't have to say any of that.
And so, like,
you didn't have to say any of that.
But this is important, though. And so, like, the first season is very much like reconnecting with your sister that you just haven't talked to in a very long time. That's basically the original premise of, like, the first season up until, like, the last few episodes. And so, like, I thought that was interesting. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll read it. It gets worse. So I'll watch it. So I started watching this, and I was about 6 episodes in, and I'm like, yeah, he's kind of a pervert, and I'm not super into that, but like this is interesting. I haven't watched anime forever. I'll see this to the end. So 6 episodes. I take a break. I go and visit my sister. I mentioned
Oh no.
I mentioned to her
Here
that I've
we
gotten
go.
back into anime, and she's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" And I was like, it's like a really long title, but it's called like Aremo or something like that.
Oh no.
And the most blessed thing that ever has occurred in my entire life has been the fact that she forgot I ever said that.
Oh no.
She completely forgot I ever mentioned it, because I come back from that break and I'm back in college and I'm like watching this shit in my free time and I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sis, you gotta check out this show. Watch it. You'll love it.
Oh,
This is like sweat drops emoji.
that's like I just think back on the one skit from Key and Peele in which like Jordan Peele is just like literally it looks like a fucking shower going down his forehead because he's just sweating so intensely. So and then finally I get into like the second season and all that bullshit, and then finally it ends. And unrelated to the whole, like, sister thing, I got pissed because I was like, that is the shittiest fucking ending of any show I've ever seen, period. And I got mad, and I started getting so mad, like I was, like, punching a pillow in my apartment. And then I went over to Skype, because we were
He
all
got
using
so mad he
Skype
went
at
to
the
the
time.
internet.
Yeah, which is...
Who would ever?
Yeah, who would ever? Which is, we were all using Skype at the time to communicate with each other. And I messaged out, and I was
Group
like,
chat
man,
of, like,
I don't know if any
32
of y'all
people.
motherfuckers have seen this, but Aremo is a fucking pile of shit. And then Matt was messaged me back, and he was like, I know, right? That ending is terrible. And that was how the Backloggers got started.
Yeah, that was the first real conversation I had with Kyle.
And then I sought you out, like, the following day. Because, like, all of
Yeah.
our friends congregated in the basement of the student center. And so I, like, sought you out. And I was like, Matt, I need to talk about this more. Because it's still pissing me off.
I mean, think about it. Like, oh man. Like, the internet was so mad about that ending. Like, I swear to God. Like, there was posts about it every freaking day as a new person would discover it and be like,
Yeah.
okay, what the fuck?
And it
was
turns
like-
out... It's one of those things where, like, somebody new suddenly discovers this anime with no context and they start watching it. And then when they get mad, they start saying something on the internet. And then all of a sudden, all the people that have already watched the anime are like, yeah, that's fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah, everyone forgets about it for a little while until someone brings it up again.
Brings it up
and it's
again.
like-
And then all of a sudden, it's like PTSD. They're just like, oh, fucking, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that was the one ending I've just never. I've seen the internet blow up about so many times. Like,
And it's
Like-
funny, too, because it didn't help at all that it came out later that the author stated that that was not the ending that he wanted to make. And so, like, all of a sudden, everybody felt so validated about their response to that, in which they're like, yeah, fuck that publisher. Oh, it's terrible.
yeah,
Even though the ending that the author wanted to make still was real skeevy. It was real fucking skeevy.
Well, okay, so kind of actually related on that note. You just made me remember this.
Oh, no.
Apparently, I don't know who's writing it. I saw an article the other day where they're writing an alternative ending. Someone is.
What?
God.
I think it might be the original author. Frogkin posted an article about it.
The original
Actually.
author is rewriting it?
He's doing like an alternative ending. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
gosh, this is like the glopping
Delightful.
incident.
The what?
The glopping incident.
Oh, that's just a
2
side
years
story.
worth.
Where the author wrote fanfic about his own series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we don't need to go into that.
oh, jeez. Yeah, we don't. Yeah. This is the. Here it is.
Oh yeah, okay, here we go. There's going to be a new Aremo volume. It's the first part of an alternate Ayase ending. What?
Yeah. This
Now-
is going to get really interesting.
Don't get me wrong. She was, if that's who I'm thinking of, she was Best Girl in the original. Yeah, she was Best Girl in the original series. Even though the PSP adaptations of her made her super yandere, and it was a little terrifying.
It's just weird. Yeah. Anyway, that was just a tidbit I remembered, so thanks for that segue.
Man, that whole series is fucking bonkers, especially when you start getting into like the alternate media that was not written by the author.
Yeah, I just...
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
That's the way it is with any alternative media.
It gets so weird.
I still have my only context of the entire multiverse of that being what we watched that one time, and that's been it. I watched it when we watched it as a group, and I haven't touched anything related to it since. I don't know, dude.
That's for the best. I mean,
yeah,
it's fine. Like, everyone's gotten mad about it enough. We're done.
Yeah, it's the hate can go away. Like it is not necessary to keep it going. That flame can die.
I think the year 2014 is kind of the year that I really super got back into anime.
Yeah,
specifically, just because it would have been the same year that we were watching that. But like, I remember around. It was probably like either late 2012 or early 2013. Like, I kind of found myself going through Crunchyroll and other sites and things of that nature, kind of because my prior experience had just been I watched a shit ton of shonen, and that was like it. And I discovered seasonal anime, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of Western audiences in general. It's just like we got our start with shonen, and then we didn't know that there was anything else.
Because I still just played a lot of video games, mainly throughout undergrad.
Yeah.
And so, you know, while I was doing that, I would also kind of pop in briefly and see, like, what the fuck is Hayori Nyarko-san? And then I'd watch something and be like, this is fucking stupid.
That's an appropriate response.
Did you actually finish that series?
I watched 9 episodes and then stopped.
You got farther than me.
Yeah, Cal didn't make it that far. I watched both seasons.
I made it through, I think,
thing.
6 episodes, and then I remember there was one night, and I apologize, Matt, from my actions in the past. I ranted to you for like fucking 3 hours about how much I hated that anime.
I mean, no, I mean, it's fair. I didn't like the series either, honestly.
Here's the thing. It's not great.
It's not a good
It's not
series.
great. It's
I
not
don't
even
know what it...
The most disappointing thing
even
to
acceptable.
me is how much it takes it's the original source material and then shits all over it. Like,
okay, but like I get that, but I don't understand how you get 3 hours worth of ranting out of it.
it was
like,
probably.
what did it do to you?
I mean, for one thing,
He probably just said the same thing over and over again.
yeah, I said the same thing over and over again. 1, 2, it was like 3 a.m. whenever this occurred. So,
Which led to reason number 1, but yeah. I don't know, that series, the reason I hate it so much is nothing. It has, I mean, there's a lot to hate about the show, but one of the main thing I think that drives home, like, the reason I hate it, because I've sat through 2 seasons of it. That was when I had my no drop policy. I watched it all, and it basically has to do with the fact that there's so much referential humor. That it just not only that, it's referential humor of old stuff. It's like of Sentai,
like fucking old
Gundam
and shit.
and like.
here's the thing: as somebody who
Random
appreciates
crap.
referential humor, there is a right way to do it, and there is a massively wrong way to do it.
Well, that was definitely a massively wrong way. They just kept throwing jokes at your face until you got one.
Look, here's the thing. I don't necessarily think that it did it in an egregiously wrong way. I just think that not a single one of us is at all the intended audience for that show.
I don't think so either. But
No.
I think
but
there's
that's
a
the
I think
thing,
there's
though,
a very
is that, like-
specific, very niche audience that would adore that show.
At the same time, like, if you're going to make a show that is referential in that way, what you actually need to do is make the references in such a way that, like, if you don't understand the reference, it's fine. It still works from a story perspective. Instead of basically like Seinfeld pausing after every joke and just being like, eh?
I mean, I guess it does work from a story perspective, but the story fucking sucked.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, if it suffers because you're trying to make
Because there's no
references,
story.
right?
Yeah.
It becomes an issue.
So kind of with that being one of the things that I watched getting into seasonal anime,
I'm so sorry.
I just kind of stopped for a bit.
And I didn't
really
Why
pick
did you
it back
go
up.
there?
I don't know, man. Like, it was a weird point. I'm like, I mean, I'm a young dumb and, in college. I guess I'll try this out. And then I kind of resurfaced again in about like 2013, and I got to watch some stuff like Servant X Service, which was a fantastic choice.
I'm so glad
and I got
whenever you finally recommended that for the podcast, because gosh, that's such a good show.
We didn't do a podcast on that, but
Oh
yeah.
no, that's
just
right.
did
That
a
was
group
just
watch.
part of our group watch. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got to watch that, and I got to watch Ginosaji, Silver Spoon, and The
Still
World
never
God Only
watched that.
Knows. And
good.
it was a pretty good season to come back to, all things considered.
Mhm.
I did also watch Stella C Cubed, and fucking dropped it so hard at the
I still don't know what you have
penultimate
against that
episode.
show, and we'll never find out.
It's okay, dude. It's so great, and I don't know why I had such a visceral reaction to the next to last episode, but
Apparently, it's very
something
common.
about it.
So
Yeah, something about it
interesting.
really set me off. It was just really dumb tonally, and that was okay. But then, like, following seasons were also kind of super hit or miss, because the season after that had shit like White Album 2 and Little Buster's Refrain, and
Oh,
I'm
those
like,
are good
I
shows,
don't-
though.
Well, they are, but I'm like, I am so new to this stuff, and I have no context.
Now,
what the fuck is
granted,
going
both of
on.
those are not necessarily great for starters.
No.
Like, I couldn't say they're great entry level because, oh my god.
Yeah.
There's
What
a
I did
lot.
end up doing, though, like, after that kind of weird season, I ended up, like, watching Kill la Kill and Magi as it was airing, and that was a rad kind of way to smooth me in. And then from there, like, getting into 2014, I watched stuff like Noragami and Nisekoi and Space Dandy and such. So it was such a weird departure from everything that I kind of knew as anime. It was just a whole new horizon, and it was pretty cool, honestly. And it was about probably sometime around 2014 where I don't know if we were even really like hanging out yet in Kyle's closet apartment, but I think you and I were watching Glass Slip. Like,
Well, that was our first real bonding experience, but yeah.
yeah, it was, and man,
We
what
talked
a
about
fucking-
Servant X Service when that was airing, but that's when I thought you were a plebe, so... And then that erased that thought really fast when I saw you watching Servant X Service, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, our glass slip moments, when that aired, that was the bond right there.
God, yeah, but what a season that was.
Because,
Because, dude, like, it had Sankyo no Terror and Gekkan Shoujo no
Still
Zaki-kun
never watched Sankyo no Terror, but yeah.
and Barakamon. I mean, it's pretty damn good. I don't really see myself going back to watch it anytime soon, but it was nice. Sabagebu was that season too, and God, what a fucking weird season, but what a great season to be like, do you want to talk about some weird shit I just watched?
Yeah, that season definitely opened the box.
Yeah, it was delightful.
And, Glass Slip as a whole, well, it's Glass Slip, so we already talked about that.
It was so interesting as somebody that like did not get on board with Glass Slip at the same time that you guys did, to watch from an outsider's perspective you guys flipping shit over this anime.
It was great.
But you understand now.
No, I
Yeah.
do, and there's video evidence of me flipping shit over this anime.
Yeah. Didn't you and I, Matt, like watch one of the last episodes together because
That
it
was
had,
that
like,
one
just come
episode
out?
where they were on the snowy balcony and they did
Yep.
like that weird thing. That was that episode.
Yeah, it was the alternate universe one.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck, yeah.
That was the one we watched together. We looked at each other afterwards and like, what?
There's so many delightful memories I have about me getting back into anime because it's so rooted in sharing the experience with others.
Yeah.
And it kind of, in a way, like, I still get a lot of that, but in some ways I miss it a lot because the dynamic that we have with that feels a little different these days.
I know.
Well, we're not all physically in the same place, and so it becomes a lot harder to feel as connected whenever we're doing that shit.
Right. But it's so, at the same time, I feel like I don't personally watch as many shows that leave me absolutely flipping shit about them anymore.
I don't know if I have as many like angry opinions about shit anymore, but that's also because like I choose not to watch it, which is different from what we used to do.
Well, but that's true, but I also feel like a lot of stuff is playing it very safe in terms of, well, not playing it safe. I wouldn't really say that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that because you have
that's
things
not the right
like,
way to phrase it.
Yeah, you have things like Goblin Slayer and a bunch of other ones that are specifically going for the shock value.
Yeah, I feel like we don't have as much stuff to be like, holy fucking shit, did you see this last episode?
Yeah.
Maybe anime is just getting better about that last episode syndrome that they've had for so long.
Well, I think another part of it is maybe it's not the shows. Maybe it's just like how we consume it. Like we're consuming it at different times. We're honestly, not like sitting down and like each week when an episode comes out and saying, "Hey, when this episode comes out, let's all discuss it tonight." You know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like that kind of thing.
Or like we all show up at the same apartment and we all just like watch it together, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's that because I think that was what created that sort of environment. And now it's like, even if we do the podcast, it's like all segmented. Like we watch it at a different time, so if you try to talk about it with someone else, it's like, oh, like you haven't seen it yet. So
I think the closest that we've honestly gotten is the Big O podcast that we just put out.
I think so too, just because we all somehow finished the last episode within like an hour of each other.
Yeah. we all watched the like last few episodes of that series basically at the same time, like right before the podcast. And so everything was still sinking in as we were talking about it.
Right. And it resulted
that created that weird dynamic at the end.
Yeah, it was the absolute best because we all kind of simultaneously flipped shit and we're like, you know what? Actually, this is great. This is the best.
It's one of those weird, like, and that's when I learned to love Big Brother moments. Like, it's so 1984 that we all just, like, immediately jumped on, no, yeah, I love this show.
Yeah. It was so bizarre. If you haven't seen that podcast, go watch it. It's crazy. Or listen to it. You don't really watch a podcast. But yeah.
You could, but there's not a lot of moving pictures.
Yeah.
Right. But, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about a lot of that stuff in quite a while, and taking this weird trip back through memory lane. I've been looking through AnyChart and looking at some of the yearly archives and being like, oh my god, that came out at the same season?
Yeah, some of that stuff's crazy.
Oh, it's so fucking weird, because, like, I think I was watching, what the fuck was it? Hold on a minute. There was one goddamn season where I think Guilty Crown came out the same season as something else I was watching.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm just like, what the actual fuck? I cannot believe those aired at the same time.
Yeah, like some of the stuff, if you look back, I think, what was it? I want to say, like, Devil is a Part-Timer and Yahari's Season 1 aired at the same time. Like,
really?
Thinking about that
is,
like, crazy.
I guess that's kind of how things go, where, like, you know, you have things that are just dramatically different from each other coming out in a similar time.
Oh, yeah. It's like, fucking Mirai Nikki, like, Future Diary, and the Hunter x Hunter reboot, and Fate Zero came out the same season that Guilty Crown did.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? It came out the same season as Chihayafuru. And
that is so weird to think about.
So weird to consider. Like, I'm so massively unaware of the time frame for a lot of these shows that we've come back to, because I didn't, when we watched like the Guilty Crown and did that for the cast, I was stunned that it came out in 2011. And I know, because you gotta just sit there and let it sink in, and it's like, what? Or like Hyoka came out 2012.
I'm looking
Hyoka
at that right
is
now.
like 7 years old.
Hyoka is 7?
Hyoka is 7 years old.
Oh my
Also,
God.
it came out the same season as Excel World and Jormungand.
And Kids on the Slope.
Yeah.
And Suritama.
Like, that blows my mind.
Oh, but it also came out the same season as Space Brothers and Polar Bear Cafe.
Oh shit!
What a
Polar Bear
what
Cafe,
a great
that's
season!
One that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, are you guys ready for our next podcast where we're watching a 50 episode show? That's essentially the same thing every time.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if I have the time for that shit anymore.
Well, you can break it into 2 seasons. I mean, Netflix does it. As in, calls the first part of it Season 1 and Season 2.
Even though it's really not.
Even though it's the same fucking season.
Yeah, it is so wild to look at all this stuff and think, I did not realize that it had this particular sense of time to it.
Yeah. Time is so weird.
Yeah. Because, it's weird to me
that's aired at the same season as Erica 7AO, apparently. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's weird for me to think that Attack on Titan and Season 1 of Yahari came out the same season, but that also came out 2 seasons before Kill la Kill did. And that fucks me up.
What the fuck? Okay, no, wow, yeah, that messes with me.
Yeah, I did not realize that Attack on Titan anime came out before Kill la Kill did.
I mean, that sounds accurate in my mind, but I can't believe it.
It just doesn't seem right?
Yeah, it's weird, because I'm like, man, I thought there was a bigger gap than that at least, but maybe not.
I figured so too, but yeah, it's just Attack on Titan aired, that spring of 2013, and then Kill la Kill came in the fall season. And then smushed between those two in the spring season, or in the summer season rather, was a fucking Monogatari second season.
Oh, yeah.
Which, oh my god, Watamote aired that season, though.
Watamote. That is that's a show I still don't get why people, really are attached to, but...
Well... I can't.
I can actually understand why people are attached to that. Because after reading the manga, I can understand it's one of those situations where it's like, haha, it's funny, it's making fun of me. And if people have a skin for that, that's one thing. But I don't know, it's one of those weird situations where I feel like people interpret it differently. Because whenever I watched it, I was like, wow, this is very cringy and I cannot enjoy it because it's actively trying to make fun of its viewer. Whereas you have your typical 4chan crowd that's just like, haha, it's great that we're a piece of shit. So they just kind of revel in it.
Yeah, well, I had this discussion a couple weeks ago too, and I was thinking about this, and I was just thinking, I guess I just really don't relate to this show very well at all.
But that's kind of the point, though, is that it's a show that is actively trying to not relate. It is trying to make fun of you.
Well, yeah, but I don't really feel like it's doing a good job of that still.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair.
I don't know. I look at the character and I go, yeah, that might be something. It's in the ballpark of yeah, that might be something that I would do, but I wouldn't do that. That is not. It just doesn't in my mind. I just don't. I don't know. If I tried to self-insert myself into that situation, I'd be like, no, I wouldn't even be in this situation. Or if I was, I would definitely not be reacting like this.
Yeah, I think it's very much trying to parody a stereotype, and because of that, it falls short in a lot of ways of actually being able to make a concerted effort about a particular person or a particular type of group or group of individuals.
Yeah. Now, Hitori Bochi? Yeah.
Well, in the same way, Jin Shiken was one of those that showed multiple different types of nerds and otaku. and so it was trying to like comment about those, but it wasn't actively taking the piss out of them either. It was just commenting about them and like their strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very different.
Very different.
It's anime is weird sometimes about like that.
Yeah.
So, what? So I actually I had to, what?
Sorry, nothing. What's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say, that I played 2 anime games recently.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
So a couple weeks ago when I had like that whole week off from work, which by the way was amazing. Just want to talk about that for a minute. I decided to not be productive at all, and I was like, well, time to play a game. And I did, and I played Danganronpa 2, Goodbye
Ooh.
Despair. Very good.
I've been meaning to play that series. I have 1 and 2 on Steam, but I just haven't taken the time to get into it because it seems like such a time-consuming undertaking.
It doesn't take that long. Like I finished both games in like a span of like. Now I played both. Now, okay, yeah. Take this into context. I played both games for like 8 hours a day. So
Right.
It took me like 3 days to finish one of them. So they're like 3 to 4 day games if you put 8 hours.
If
into
you
it.
put them in as like a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, if you do that, like it's fine. And that's if you like want to, if you're, just, I guess it depends on how fast you read. I like to describe the Danganronpa games as like Ace Attorney, except with a slight black comedy twist.
Mm-hmm.
But if you imagine it, like it doesn't take a lot of time. Like it's a series that, like, once you start playing it and get into it, like you're kind of hooked for that game.
Yeah.
And it's like it flies by. Like it's.
Oh, I'd fully believe it.
They're very good.
It doesn't feel as long as it should because you're just so invested in it.
Yeah.
I think my real issue with things like that is that I find that I have a lot less time to devote to games like that anymore.
Same.
Which is a huge bummer. And the idea of tackling something like that a few hours at a time just seems insurmountable.
Although,
I could do that with an Ace Attorney because it's literally made for a mobile console,
right?
And so like I can easily pick that up and play and then put it down for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like Danganronpa is like an experience that kind of demands your attention, or it seems that way anyway. Yeah, and I'm like, do I have the time to do it?
I mean, honestly, like if you broke it down, like because it does have the same Ace Attorney format. Like you have like, you've got like a story, a segmented story, and you've got a trial, and then you have the conclusion, and that's it. Like it's almost disconnected from the rest of it. Like,
I mean, okay, I guess it's
so
fair.
if you broke it into like that, like you could get through one in like, it's like a 4-hour chunk. I know that's like way more than Ace Attorney, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Ace Attorney could take that long.
It definitely does.
I guess with the when I played Ace Attorney, it did. So,
I guess with the amount of time that I spend combined doing like short bursts of Monster Hunter World, it would probably add up to something like that, anyways. So
yeah,
I guess it's just like spaced out and paced differently.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It depends on your preference, I guess. But I'm much more a person that does things in bursts. So maybe that's why it was easy to get through. But
right,
because I feel like I get bored really easily, so I just like, okay, I'm gonna play this, and that's it.
Yeah. What was the other one that you played, or was it just both the Danganronpa games?
No, I played the first one of those a while back. I just got through 2.
Okay.
But I've been playing the this is gonna be really hard. I hope I don't butcher this. Just the past week or so, I've been playing Atelier. If I type it out, you'd know what it is.
Atelier.
Yeah, there you go.
I know that's probably not how you pronounce it, but I've heard everyone and their mother call it Atelier.
Yeah, it's
or Atelier.
that is definitely not how you pronounce it. But yeah, I've been playing one of those games.
Okay, all right.
They're really comfy and soft.
It seems like it. I don't have a whole lot of context for it. Like, I've always seen a lot of it, and it seems like very Reciteer adjacent. Or Reciteer.
Reciteer?
The shopkeeper game. Hold on a second.
Yeah, maybe you have to show me this, because... I never heard of that, actually.
No fucking way. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever heard of it.
Really?
Yep. Never knew this was a thing.
That's astonishing.
This is my first time hearing about this.
That's actually surprising, yeah.
Yeah, you just take on the mantle of a cute anime girl, and you run an item shop and sell items to adventurers, but you also go out to dungeons and get the items that you sell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
a little bit in a
fantastic.
similar vein then, yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's the same kind of game, I guess.
Okay.
There's like a little overarching story, but yeah, you're mostly just out getting items, making items. You're going and looking for ingredients. You're talking to people. You fight things. You know.
Fun.
Is that one game that came out recently that I believe was actually American made, but it has an anime
I think you're talking about Moonlighter?
No, Battle Chef Brigade.
Oh, that's a puzzle game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've been meaning to pick that up too, but I can see how you can get that idea.
You know, just like getting ingredients and then coming back and making some food.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of really love games like that have that central core loop of like go out, get loot, repeat.
Yeah, it's the Atelier series is kind of like it's like Persona, except there's no story. Like it's like taking it's like taking the main story element. It's basically time management. You go and you meet with people and you have like a day cycle and
oh fuck, I'm booting up Steam now. I gotta get one of these. You said the right combination of things.
Well, and it's got like that same kind of thing. Like you go and talk with people when you make things. You gotta like follow like a time schedule. Like it's got all these cool little elements.
Oh my god,
it's like an extreme like time management game, and I'm just like, okay, you got like a deadline. You got to make these specific items in, and you got to like do all these events that are like time triggered and stuff. Yeah, I kind of liked it. Like when I sat down and played it the other day, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And then I sat down and I played it for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I just played it for like 6 hours.
Hell
and I was like, okay, this is actually really good and really soft and comfy.
So which is the one that you got?
So
was it Lulua or Sophie?
It's since they're all like part of the same series, all the ones on Steam. You want to start with, if you picked one, it has to be Rorona.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're like all four like in a series. Like you play one after another. They're all in like the same universe, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really good. I like it a lot, and it's really fun. It's one of those chill games where you can just like, you're on a time crunch, but it's like, okay, I got to do these things, but it's not like super hectic.
Yeah, you just kind of zone out at some point.
Yeah, like you kind of got to think, but you don't like have to think really hard. It's not like a strategy game or anything.
Right.
It's just
like you have to put up enough specific like thought process and work into it, and once you understand the system,
it becomes really easy. Like, okay, like I need these ingredients, I need to go get them here, I go here, get them, and then come back, and then you gotta like kind of like, you know, go through the motions. And once you understand the system, it's really easy, but it's really fun because it's super just satisfying. I don't know.
It's kind of like how somehow Monster Hunter World is my chill game, which it should not probably be the way that is, but here I am.
No, but I
guess it's kind of
that,
similar.
Yeah.
I guess if you think about it, like Monster Hunter is the same kind of game.
Yeah, because I mean, it literally is.
certain ways.
You go do the thing, you get some materials from it, and then you boost up and go back out and do it again until you get what you need for the next one, and then go do the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a repetition to it that you can get into, and so like it becomes your like comfy game.
I think I think if you played one of these games, you would really like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with you, dude. Like if I didn't have to drop $40 on this thing,
Yeah, that's the thing.
It looks fantastic.
Man, we could talk about games all the time.
Yeah, we really could.
Well, they were
Yeah, I
like
don't know,
anime
man.
games, so it's like
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's adjacent. It works. It's something that we do. It's not like I'm gonna like sit here and talk about for 2 hours like how much I enjoy Destiny 2 or something.
Right, because like Monster Hunter's close enough to anime.
Oh, I mean,
it's had an anime.
It is straight anime, just in game form.
Yeah. Oh god, though. I kind of need to talk about the fact that it's getting a live action movie done by the same director that did the fucking Resident Evil movies. But I don't want to talk about it because it just makes me sad.
Sorry, can you remind me what's the name of the dude who's doing that?
I don't know, but it's another. The main lead is literally the female main lead from the Resident Evil movies. And I think the plot is literally someone from our world gets transported to the Monster Hunter world or some shit. I'm so not here for it.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay, so it's Paul W.S. Anderson who did the original Mortal Kombat movie back in 1995.
Yeah, so if that gives you any context.
He also did Alien vs. Predator, so this is probably not going to be a good adaptation unless he suddenly had a like complete change in religion at some point.
Yeah,
and film directing religion.
Yeah.
But anyway,
if
like
he
I said,
if he like somehow came to God and like was able to change his ways, I think we might be all right for the Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah. I think I guess like the only other thing that I've been going through that's kind of like anime or our wheelhouse related has been like I've been reading some of the newer shit that's been coming out in Shounen Jump.
Oh yeah?
Like there's a rugby one called Beast Children that's fucking fantastic.
Oh dude, hell yeah. Does it actually is it taking place in Japan or is it taking place like outside of Japan?
Come here. Sorry, cat emergency. 1 sec.
Cat emergency. All right.
No, I'm always fascinated by anime stories that don't actually have much to do with Japan or like with something that is stereotypically Japan. Rugby is not. Like that is a very like British thing.
Yeah, it's some really weird stuff like that. Oh my god. Okay. I'll be right back.
Kitty troubles.
Kitty troubles. No, yeah, that makes me actually really interested.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what sports hasn't anime covered yet? Can we totally get some like croqueting anime?
Yeah, like croquet or
can we get that? Like that sounds great. Bowling anime.
Bowling or what's that one that takes place on the ice where they have
curling?
Rooms? Curling, yeah.
Oh, we gotta get a curling anime. I'm here for this.
I would love to get a curling anime. Imagine how dramatic that shit would be.
Like, that would be awesome. Like, I actually really want this now.
Yeah,
like,
no, I would watch that in a heartbeat. Like, legit.
Like, sorry, I'm gonna be honest here. Like, curling is the best Winter Olympic sport.
Oh, really? You got some hard opinions about this.
Yeah, like, curling is the best. Like, and I realize, like, I say that, and my family looks at me like, what? and, like, and I'm like, I don't know, I just like it, okay? It's really interesting to me.
Is it just because it's a very different type of sport compared to other ones that you've seen?
Yeah, I guess so. It seems very strategical and methodical.
What?
We're talking about a curling anime.
What the fuck?
We're talking about if there was a curling anime.
Oh,
I was telling.
You had me so stoked.
Oh, no. That's exactly what we're talking about, though. It's like we would be so fucking in.
I'm being for a curling anime.
Yeah.
Beast Children's fun. It's like maybe 3 chapters in right now.
Where does it take place?
So,
Is it like a rugby?
It's definitely Japan.
Okay.
So, that's fun. Masashi Kishimoto of Naruto fame has put out a new manga.
Really?
It's a space samurai thing. It's kind of neat. It's definitely still rough in its initial chapters. There's a lot going on.
Probably still like figuring shit out.
Yeah, kind of.
I tend to go for a little bit more of a gray area with my manga, so like a lot of the shit that I've read, I like could not exactly tell you where it came from, but man, I do love to talk about manga. There's one I found recently that was actually like really adorable, and it surprised me. It's called Kanojo wa Rokurokubi.
Rokurokubi.
It's about
that's the name.
It's about a girl who's a Rokurokubi, which is like that that mythological oni that, or not oni, but like demon that just has a really long neck that stretches.
Oh.
But the most fascinating thing about it is that it's just such a down-to-earth anime about a guy and a girl that are just best friends. They're not dating. They're not even interested in dating each other. They're just good friends. And it's like them going about their days, and it's just occasionally it comes up that like she gets tickled or something like that, and all of a sudden her neck just starts stretching. But like everybody in her school is chill with
tickled.
Like everybody in her school is chill with it. In fact, they even sometimes mess with her, like where like she pisses somebody off, and so they chuck her head out the window, and then she has to like slowly get it back up. I don't know. It's a mixture of that whole like Monster Girl thing, along with just like this character is insanely relatable because they're not like the prim or proper. They're not like the intelligent one or something like that. They're just a doofus, but they're as much as a doofus as their best friend is.
Okay, I can dig that.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I realize I've said that like 4 statements in a row, but that's really the only reaction I have.
I don't know, there's a bunch of anime that I see like off the wall that are crazy. There's one, gosh, I would recommend this one in a heartbeat. Let me see if I can find the name for it though. I think I might have mentioned this one before, but like there's a woman who like has a whole bunch of shit luck in life. She's an adult woman, and then she ends up running into this situation where she goes on a rant on a here we go. Wave, listen to me. She goes on a blackout drunk rant to a guy who's in charge of a radio station, and he loves it so much that he decides to give her a spot for her own like radio segment.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, and it's actually just fascinating, like because like they're very much like making things up as they go, and this character is so real. Like the way that she reacts and behaves in a lot of situations, it may be like exacerbating because she's a very like outgoing individual and one who like very much speaks her mind, but like it's just so incredibly real, like their discussion about things and their discussion about radio as a genre that's slowly dying out and no one really pays attention to it anymore, and like a bunch of other stuff. Like gosh, it's such a good manga.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, that actually does sound rather interesting. No, that one actually does sound interesting, though.
That one, your response kind of like stumbled.
Well,
and
I was trying to think of another word that was not interesting.
Calculating, failed.
That's basically what just happened.
Failure procedure. That's interesting.
Yeah, but no, like the whole radio thing, like talking about radio as a dying medium, I think is rather fascinating.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it's not to say that it's one of those that's like is completely dying out, but it's very much one of the situations where like like the invention of the MP3 has definitely hurt radio as far as like people listening to shit anymore, because like they'll just listen to it on their own iPod or on their own iPhone or Android device.
It's a rather intriguing discussion, at least.
Yeah, and especially for something which is what they try to do, which is like radio dramas or like radio talk shows. That's very much becoming something that's kind of dead in the wake of YouTube and a bunch of other things.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like a thing. I don't know. Like, because I know that's like a big thing in Japan. It's like radio dramas and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that they do delve into that, in which it's like, it's very, very obviously there's some more popularity than what we might expect in Western culture, or just more specifically American culture is what I can actually vouch for. But yeah, it's one of those things where like it's very interesting seeing that like changing of the guard as far as like what medium people are so interested in.
Yeah, it's still a good discussion to be had.
And because of that, like the this person who's never really done radio before is all of a sudden thwarted into these situations in which he has to do some really ridiculous shit because it's going to draw people in. Like media sells even if it's absolutely like exacerbating or incredibly controversial. That just means it's going to sell more. So they definitely dive into that, and it's become a very interesting manga for me to read. I'm only like, I want to say like maybe like 12 chapters in, and it's been going on for a little while, but it's really good.
It sounds really neat, honestly.
Yeah, occasionally you find a gem like that I'm just like, oh, that's so much better than the last thing that I was watching or reading, which is just like cute girls doing cute things. Which is not to say that those are bad, but like every now and then you find one that has like just a very good narrative going for it. Yeah, I mean that's mostly what I've been up to.
Yeah,
I don't know. This has been fun.
Yeah,
I've liked this quite a bit.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that we wouldn't normally get to talk about in a podcast.
Yeah, it was nice to branch out in a lot of weird different directions and kind of
had some good laughs.
cut loose a little bit.
Talked about some questionable anime.
Talked about the letters of the alphabet.
Yeah.
What?
There are now
We did.
28
All right,
letters
no,
of the alphabet.
I'm not.
The last two are Eska
I'm not
and
doing this.
Kron.
I have too much respect for myself. I'm going. I'm going.
28 letters of the alphabet?
Yeah. The last two are Eska and Kron.
We are wrapping this up. We are done. This is it.
Oh my god. This is it.
the end.
Okay, bye.
It's over. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
See you next time. Hey, thanks for listening. As always, you can find all our podcasts, articles, videos, etc. at thebacklogers.com. Our intro and outro song is The Bear by Shell and the Pit, who you can find on Spotify and Bandcamp, and we'd love to hear from y'all in our comments on our site, on the podcast platform of your choice, or at our newly established campsite. We're stoked to hear what you're passionate about. And as always, we're on Twitter at _Backloggers, so pull up a log and stop in for a bit.